So, the Scenic Byway project, what that is it's a Georgia DOT program that is simply a designation of a route that has at least one of 6 intrinsic qualities. And those can be, those 6 intrinsic qualities are scenic, natural, historic, cultural, archaeological, and recreational. This particular route has 5 of those 6. We were not able to identify an archaeological intrinsic quality, and I'll just say, if anybody knows of one, let us know. Archaeological are more like evidence of past civilizations, those types of things, ruins and that type of thing. But the application that we turned in simply said, hey, we have identified a route that we would like to designate as a scenic byway, and it has these intrinsic qualities, and those qualities were outlined in the application. This is why we are a good fit, and we designated the route. I will tell you that the route altogether is 81 miles long, and the portion in Gilmer County, I had to calculate it the other day, is approximately 26 miles, I believe. We have 2 maps over here. The one on that wall is just Gilmer County, and the one on the wall behind me is the entire route. Some of the questions that have been proposed, well, let me back up for a minute. This is a Georgia DOT program. They have provided us with a flow chart of the process, and I've placed just a few on some tables here, and I've highlighted where we are in the process. And we are right here at the public meeting part. They are very, very strict that we follow their guidelines, and we are doing that. So part of those guidelines was an initial application saying we'd like to designate this as a scenic byway route. We filled out the initial form, sent it in, along with the map. They looked at it, they came back, yes, we approve, you can move forward now with the formal process. So part of that process was we obtained supporting resolutions from the local governments that are involved, and we also then began to identify property owners along the route, because that is part of the process to notify all the property owners. So we used the tax assessor's office to go in and actually, because I have mailing addresses, so that's how you got your address, and you receive a notice in the mail. Part of the notification is also ads in the local paper. So we did that. In addition, the Times, what's it called? The LJ paper. Yes, Times Courier. They also ran an additional article with additional information and provided a map. So we thank them for that. The requirement for public meetings are that we do have at least 2 public meetings. We are going to have 3 because we have 3 counties involved in the process. So in this flow chart, after we have public meetings, after the first public meeting, but just say after the first 2 for us, the next thing we will work on is what's called the corridor management plan. The corridor management plan, we are working with the regional commission to assist us with this, because their planning department is already in tune with the counties and their land uses and all those things. I will say up front, this designation process in no way encroaches on the property, right-of-way, or anything for private property. It does not involve road construction, no widening of roads, no adding of bike lanes, or anything like that. I anticipated those questions because I've worked on the scenic byway before, and those were the main concerns that we encountered prior. I've had a couple other questions just about the process and who makes up the committees, and I'll talk about that as well. But I just want to make sure that if I haven't addressed your concerns by the time I'm finished with what I'm saying, please raise your hand, ask a question. On the table, we also have some cards. If you want to leave a written comment, we would love for you to do that and just put it in this box. Where did that go? Oh, it's in the window. that. Put it in this box if you would like to leave your card. Please sign in. Part of DOT requirements is that we have these public meetings, and we want to have proof that we have these public meetings. I know it says name, address, and phone, and if you want to leave all your info, that's great. We love it. If you just want to give me your name, that's fine too. The only restriction on a scenic byway is no new billboards. Any existing billboards stay up, they can be used, it's just no new billboards. What we find is that most people are happy about that restriction. I will tell you that part of our process is we have to notify the Outdoor Advertising Association so that they are aware of what we are doing, which we have done. And if they have any opposition to the route, they are designating it because of no new billboards, then they certainly have an opportunity before the GDOT board to make that known.
Can you mention that your restrictions are already, Gilmer County's restrictions are already more restricted than your restrictions? So
Absolutely, and that's where we find a lot of communities already have those restrictions in place, so it almost becomes a good point in that regard. As this PowerPoint plays, one of the slides toward the end, you will see what the scenic byway sign looks like. It is a bright blue sign with a white Cherokee rose, and it will say Georgia Scenic Byway, and it will have the name of the byway at the top, which this particular one we are calling the Amicalola Falls Scenic Byway because with Gilmer, Pickens, and Dawson counties, that becomes that anchor that everybody has in common. The highways are kind of leading to that route, so we are naming it that. And it will say, if it's at the beginning of the route, it might have the word begin, or it might have the word end. Along the route, you may just see the blue Cherokee road sign that says you're still on the byway. All of the roads, with the exception of very few local roads, are state highways. When it comes to this corridor management plan, it talks about how will we manage the byway, what will we do, what are our goals and objectives for it. The goals and objectives we have right now are very broad because part of the development of that is to get your input. And we want to have that input so that if there are issues that we're not aware of, we want to be aware of those. Here's the sign. Oh well, it went by quickly.
Since you're out here, don't you think, I'm a farmer and I moved here, don't you think more people associate this whole area with apples more than they do Amicalola Falls?
Well, this comment, if you didn't hear it, more people associate this area with apples more than Amicalola Falls. And I would say that's true if this were just a Gilmer County scenic byway, but because it is all three counties, and because Amicalola Falls is a state park, it becomes that common denominator among all the counties. So what we'll do in the process, I want to explain a little more about the corridor management plan. We will address things like if the county already has a moratorium against new billboards, we'll note that. If there are concerns about, this is great, but for some reason, we seem to not have adequate mowing or adequate trash pickup or something like that. We want to address those things as suggestions and to the communities that are on the route to say, one of our goals is to have a more beautified route. We suggest, if possible, that there be 2 mowings a year instead of 1, whatever the issue would be. So we want to make those suggestions. We want to list the concerns. Some of the concerns we've had have been about increased tourism. And I have to say, I've used that word and I've said that, but when we talk about it amongst ourselves, we really are talking about market share. We're talking about the tourists and the visitors that are already here finding out, oh, there's more to see and do in another county. It's about people that are going to downtown Dawsonville finding out, oh, there's apples in LJ. It's about really distributing, a redistribution of visitors. It's no secret, especially with COVID, that everybody's heading to the mountains. Everybody wants to be outdoors, and these mountain communities have seen an influx. But it's a lot of land, so we want to spread them out.
scenic byway, like would that automatically increase mowings and trash pickup at GD?
And that can be, those types of things, we don't have any jurisdiction over it, we can only make suggestions.
Right.
So those things would be up to the local county as far as what steps they might take to help that along.
So this designation doesn't necessarily provide the additional support in that route unless we're making those suggestions.
Right.
Okay, but you can make those suggestions, which is
Yeah, they can be suggestions, they can be, you know, as people are planning, you know, say a new business comes along and it's going to be on a scenic byway, say it's going to be new business out here or whatever, and they go, you know, we're on a scenic byway, we might want to, you know, make our place look really pretty, you know, and it might not even be a tourist business, it might just be some other type of business, but that designation sort of plants that idea in their head that, you know, we really want to keep this looking pretty. We kind of, you know, we don't want to take away from the scenic value, the intrinsic value of this route. So the Scenic Byway Committee has no power to enact ordinances. We have you know, we cannot make something happen. It is simply that we are bringing attention to those intrinsic qualities to encourage the local community to think about, you know, we want to protect those things. You don't want your history to get gone. You don't want, you know, some things that people may think are an eyesore. Maybe it's really just a historic building and reflective of the culture of the area. And so, you know, this just sort of brings attention to that. It is simply a designation. What happens with that designation then, once it is designated, those further steps go more to the local communities if they want to enact any action from that. The committee will be marketing the route as a way to explore and see the beauty of the county and these three counties. That I know is one of the goals in terms of marketing the route. But in terms of any kind of development and all those things, that's out of the committee's hands. That's all.
Yeah, so if we own property, we can develop ours.
What's that?
If we got property on these.
You can develop it. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Whatever your local county ordinances are.
What about road laws?
Whatever your local county ordinances are,
Yeah.
this byway does not affect that.
What about people that are running this part of the country and live here all their lives? What do they think? You got people down the road that's got property on these roads, but you don't ask the ones behind, the ones that's got to pull out the road every day. You need to ask them.
Well, that's why we put the ads in the newspaper so that
Yeah,
it went out.
everybody don't read the newspapers. Everybody ain't computer savvy and all this, but they brought it to us.
I understand.
Yeah, there's a lot of farmers around here. When they get on the road, they're hauling their chicken shit from one place to the other. That they call in because they don't like to smell it. You know, they don't like to smell it, or there's rocks down on their car.
You know,
But we got to listen to the crotch rockets and all the fancy $200,000 cars coming down through here at all hours of the night. And they'll take their dogs and they'll piss all over everything they got. All this too.
this designation, unfortunately, will not change some of those things that you
Well,
don't
it
like.
doesn't change nothing to the locals, to the people that live here all their life. It's just making it worse. And Amicalola Falls up here is not a state park. It is privatized. I worked there 30 years. It was privatized twice. The state lost millions of dollars each time it did it. And let's tell the truth about it.
It is a state park, but the operation of it is privatized. But it is owned by the state.
Yeah,
So that is
yeah,
true.
they're going to do what's best for them. They're like crooks too. We know how they are. We've all lived here.
I've got a question.
Yes.
Can the state come in and make laws on this byway, rules and regulations?
Concerning the scenic byway,
Yes. Later on down the road?
they never have, and they've had scenic byways since the 90s. I don't know of them ever doing that. A scenic byway is also a designation that if you ever decide you don't want to, see, you can say, we don't want to be a scenic byway. So if they came in and made a rule or a requirement, you could just say, well, we don't want to be a scenic byway.
Who's gonna change it though, man?
Pardon?
Who will change it? Once it's done, it's done.
The
And then when they
community.
get ready to widen roads, they're gonna take what everybody else has got.
This has nothing to do with road
Oh,
widening.
hell yeah, it does.
No, sir, it does not.
It doesn't. It's scenic.
We sat down there and watched them do the same thing on the other end of the county. They said, "We're gonna build this mall. It's gonna help your taxes." It never helped nobody. They raised our taxes every year. They raised it.
And that had
Matter of
nothing to do with
fact, if
scenic
you own
byway.
land, you're paying for all of it. It don't matter who comes in here and rents. If they rent, they're not paying the damn thing. We're sending their kids to school.
Would you give time for other folks to share?
I will give it.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go
I
outside.
would encourage you, I'll get you the right thing. I would encourage you, if you would like to see what a scenic byway looks like, drive up Fort Mountain, and when you get to the county line, that is a scenic byway. It covers Murray and Goodville County. That's one byway. There's the Brasstown Russell Scenic Byway. It's not too terribly far in this North Georgia area. I would encourage you to drive the route and see if you see anything on that route that you thought would be a negative. I can tell you, I know the Whitfield Murray Scenic, it's called the Chattahoochee Scenic Byway. That has been a scenic byway since 2013, I think, or earlier. It's been a scenic byway for pretty good. Oh, I'm sorry, it's been a scenic byway since 2006. So it's been a scenic byway a long time. So do drive it and see what you think. I'll get her and then I'll get you. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question for you. Other than increased traffic, I don't really see where it is. And I live here, and I got traffic because the middle school and I live on their creeks. So the middle school and the high school, they've done nothing to help us out there. You know, you have a turn lane going in left. Traffic backs up, it used to take you 15 minutes to get down to Phoenix. 25, 30 minutes now, the traffic is very long. We don't want this. We have to say that, we vote on it, or
I would like you to let us know that. And it would be helpful for us if you would write that down for sure and blind. And we certainly.
I just don't see
That's not really what
that.
she's asking. What she's asking is, does she actually have a voice? Is it
If
something
we
we
have
have
a
to vote on?
voice, can we say no? We
Is it
don't
going
want
to be put to a vote, or are y'all just going to vote on
Or
it?
do we just have to take
The comments would be included in that.
That's what it smells like.
If the comments, I'll say the comments, we don't have the final say. The comments are included in the quarter management plan. That goes to GDOT. GDOT disperses it to their various state, with their internal codes. They look at it and they see, you can't do this for these because these people don't want it or this, whatever.
So if we
We cannot.
contact GDOT, put our opinion in, you're gonna pay attention or listen?
So there's no voting, it's just we put a comment.
Yeah,
So that's the one.
yeah, we don't have to really.
The people who own the property are, as you say, they can make a comment, but they're not getting a vote.
But it is considered. It is
But that's still, we should be able to vote on it.
process, I'm not.
Right, but I'm just saying, the property owner, we don't want it.
I'm here.
So who is to tell us that, oh, okay, we hear you, we're not doing it. That's not all that.
I'm here. And there's not, and I'm going by GDOT's regulation, and there's not a place in there to say, take a vote. There's not a place in there for that. That's why we're asking for the comments. That's why we want you to do it. But this water management plan is not going to be just everything that's wonderful. It's going to be, there is opposition for these reasons. These are the reasons stated by the local community. That will be in there as well.
Yeah,
And it may be, and if it's,
driving by, and they'll run into each other?
That can certainly be a recommendation by the highway committee to the local government.
This is this is apple country. If you get in apple country, there's not gonna happen. The old man sitting over there in that city, and he's the apple bearer. Well, we're in apple country, if you want people to slow down, if you want people to enjoy apple country, it seems like having to drive less than 65 miles an hour when they come through the scene
I may be naive, I don't know, but is there any analysis when the other one opened up between us and Chatsworth? Is there like, do we have numbers on how many people drive up to go see it? Or?
I did not know. But I would venture to say, 2006, or whatever it is designated to today, I would say there's probably some data out there that could be looked at and say what kind of traffic.
My question is, who here knows that was a byway? You
Yeah.
didn't even know that was a byway.
And here's the other thing is,
You did, okay, so we had one person in the whole room that even knew that was a byway. I mean, that's,
on traffic, we don't always know when it's a visitor versus a local versus somebody who's, we don't know that. And so, okay, I've got the card and I'm ready. Yes.
Okay. Some points have already been made. My concern is that, number one, who decided that this should be the byway? You know, why are we in here talking about it? But traffic, Gilmer County cannot take care of their roads already. You bring in just a few more people. You know, infrastructure is awful. There's a road that was put in over by Yukon, Pleasant Valley, Orchard. It's already falling apart. And there is increased traffic on that road. Again, traffic noise, traffic hurting the roads. Gilmer doesn't fix their roads right now. So how is a byway going to make that better?
It's not, it could bring attention to your local road departments, local governments that, you know, this is a scenic byway, we want it to look good, maybe they give it more attention.
But maybe they don't, and our roads fall apart.
And we don't know. I don't know.
Who wants to do it in Gilmer? People that brought
The
it.
history behind it, okay. The Economic Development Office, who was charged with some of the tourism issues in Pickens County, approached the other two counties and said, and approached me as a project manager to say, you know, we're very interested. Is this something you would like to partner with us on? The Chamber of Commerce Development Authority in Gilmer County agreed. They thought that it would be a good opportunity to, again, create this market share, bring attention, sense of place and value to where we live and our culture. And so that's how we
I think the majority of the people we know is we've got development ramping up in half of last year's too, and it's going to continue. That's going to be bad enough on our roads. We don't need sightseers too. Just, that's all I got to say.
We mentioned a few times if we don't want it, you just got to say we don't want it. So we don't want it, so who we got to talk to and tell them that?
I would love for you to make a comment on one of these cards. Is that okay?
That's not anything. But also, like, just in my little snippet, Orchard Road, it's a blind road. If any road down Deer Creek, that's a blind right there. I'm always having to spend my roads with people flying down it. It's totally unsafe. And I kind of like it off the radar of the government, and now this road's in the states, now the spotlight's on us. So at any, and I know you say, oh, we want to run the road, but once it's out of Gilmer County's control, they can do whatever they want.
It'll still be a local road. It will not be a state road.
Yeah, but I'm elected Bob making suggestions for us. Very nice, very kind. But you have no power. But the power that you did have, that was this byway to everything's going away and the DOT's hands. So you have no power to do anything except give authority to these guys who said no changes will happen as a result of this. You circle back later on and say, oh, later on, maybe that fixed over there, we're going to make this bigger and make it better.
Now, I was talking about the scenic pull off, it's already there.
But the roads too.
Those local roads stay in local jurisdiction. They do not go.
They can't ask for it, fixed WA funds. They can't ask for us